my time here is pretty short, so the weather coming up might kind of force me out of here a little early, so we'll see. I've been here since the middle of June, and my shift is up at the end of July here. It's kind of looking like the next week's going to be pretty poor weather, and then Dan is going to come in and switch with me, take my spot. We're going to try and make the most of what time I got left. We see if we can get another dive in here, or maybe two, I don't know, we'll see. There's been a couple tough parts that have been a little difficult, you know, like you get sore, you get tired, you get a little beat up, you still got to keep going. It's kind of normal for most Alaskan jobs. When visibility comes back down, or the current picks up, or you know, something goes wrong, you got to kind of keep your wits about you. I think I got more comfortable than I thought I would be at it. I was pretty nervous at first, and I didn't really think I would reach a point of being comfortable, but I've definitely gotten better at it. So financially, my goals are met. You know, it was definitely time well spent. I definitely got the goal that I came for sure. I'm gonna go home pretty happy. I think I had a low bar, so that was nice. Down here, definitely a lot of debris, kind of like just floating in the water. Kind of looks like almost like orange pulp. I can see the nozzle pretty good. I'm down on my knees right now, and it's kind of sandy, so this is okay. The sand is maybe 6 inches deep, and then it's going to a clay layer. Oh, there's a piece of gold. Okay, I'm gonna start sucking this up, and we'll see what happens here.
All right, this sounds like pretty easy stuff to work in low vis.
Yeah, it's kind of foolproof. There's not really, well, I can't see any boulders in my area, and there's no real cobble, so yeah, it's kind of sucking sand, to be honest with you.
He's on that weird shallow clay. There's like no gravel, no boulders. Normally that looks really barren to me, but we've got good gold on this type of stuff. You know, according to the last top box cleanup, we did perfectly fine, 0.6 ounces an hour on this stuff. So there's definitely gold in there. Ross is already seeing gold. It's nice, easy stuff to work with low visibility. So we're just gonna let him work this for a while.
This has been a tough night, man. We've been at this for 2.5 hours, and I feel like I've walked like 2 miles all over the ocean floor, just digging trenches back and forth, and then all of a sudden, out of the black, I start seeing like some rocks popping up out of the sand. Oh yeah, there's some gold. Holy smokes, it show up. It's man, you really start doubting whether you can find it, and then all of a sudden it shows up, and you can really turn it on and make the rest of the night work. It's kind of just like these larger cobbles. There's a little bit of gravel packed underneath them, and then it goes straight to kind of a harder packed clay. The gold is definitely in that shallow gravel, and it's pressed into the clay as well. So I'm kind of seeing like a little bit of variety of gold that's just kind of laying out, but it's also coming up with the gravel as well. This is good. This is a great cobble patch to work.
All right, well, awesome. Way to get on it.
Hopefully it turns out to be a new area to work for the whole team. I know that we definitely been looking for kind of a new spot, and so far this is easy to work, and man, I hope it can pay off. Really chunky gold. It is not fine stuff at all. It's definitely big stuff. It is just awesome. It has been an absolutely incredible last 2.5 hours. This is definitely the most gold I've seen. It just doesn't stop. It just keeps going. It's absolutely incredible. My mind is telling me just sucking it up the tube. My body is telling me I'm absolutely gassed. That was so much fun. It was a lot of work, but that was so much fun. I was having a blast.
Yep.
Yep, all the way down in here. Dude, that's awesome.
That's all right. Look at that. Ooh.
It's definitely shiny.
That's awesome, man. That is chunky.
I honestly didn't expect to find anything, and then all of a sudden, boom, I'm walking on cobble. I'm like, oh, cobble patch. And sure enough, man, it was like right where I dropped onto it was probably the best spot, and it was like super thin. It was just smattered with gold, just everywhere.
That's awesome.
It was really, really special.
Well, good job. Let's get out of here. So we got to yank the dong out. We knew we had to do this project eventually. Our ghetto saran wrap and duct tape fix worked so long I forgot about it.
It made it surprisingly a long time.
We actually have the tools for the proper fix now. So we got to pull the whole foot valve, aka the dong, out. The way we do that, it's really heavy. And so we run a line forward through the fairlead here and back to the capstan. So Mark and I will lift it up, and Ross will kind of suck it in, and we'll sort of just flop it down on the deck and crawl it out until we get that foot valve out. We'll cut it, we'll take heat and joy and get it all soapy and warm, and get that new spiral clamp on with the foot valve and put it back on.
Hey, sometimes you gotta go slow to go fast, you know?
So we're just trying to do some preventative. We put a new one on this spring, and it's lasted for less than 2 months.
Correct, in 2 places.
Correct. Well, 2 for sure, and there's a bunch of cracks started just in between these seams. You can see where it's stretching out. So we figure if we keep this thing from bending over, this will add some rigidity to it and keep it from really stressing those thinner areas out. So. All right, see who goes for a swim.
The intake, or dong as it's sometimes referred to, is what provides water for the pump, which provides suction for the dredge. If there are leaks in the intake, we're sucking air, not water, and we can't mine for gold.
Today we're extracting the boat, and we're gonna fix a couple things that we can't reach. We got Ross here. Ross is a great welder fabricator. So this is generally fairly routine because we have the telehandler that makes things a lot easier. But the difference is this is the first time we've put these dollies on. So let's kind of take it easy, and hopefully it's not too much of an adventure.
I had a quick question. If we're using a telehandler at a port, are we teleporting?
Oh gosh. Oh no.
Boo.
That's for everybody who likes puns out there.
The
Yeah,
pun
if you
is
hate
like,
this, leave a boo in the comment. That'll totally stay. There's a little wind, there's a little action, it's always kind of a process with some yelling, inevitably.
I'm just gonna boom you straight out, so it should be smoothish.
This could suck. I mean, yeah, things could go haywire. But it should be just fine. We can do it.
I believe in us.
What's the worst that could happen?
Famous last words.
Yeah, there's a lot of action today. Look at this thing.
It is massive.
Worked on a boat in Louisiana, in La Rose, Louisiana. It's actually the next town over from Cutoff. And in 2015, when oil prices plummeted, all these offshore supply vessels lost their contracts in the Gulf of Mexico. And the boatyards down there are just full of these old offshore supply vessels. And so a lot of Alaskan captains over the last few years have been scooping them up for, you know, fishing tenders in Bristol Bay, or obviously
Mining vessels.
Mining vessels, you know.
So if you want a mining vessel for cheap,
Yeah.
go there. We'll nose in, drop the stern anchor, and then we're gonna nose up, hook up to the telehandler, and then so we got the bow and the stern secure.
Want me to start moving you out?
Yeah.
Once we're secure, Alex is gonna suit up.
Getting wet. So we gotta try and do this as quick as possible. Emily and I have our plan basically. I'm gonna drag that dolly. I'm gonna hand Emily 2 lines on the outside. I'm gonna take 2 lines under the dredge. We're gonna walk it back. And then I'll feed you the line up. Once you have all 4, all right, coming back. I'll come around to the outside. Shove it down. You pull these inside lines up, and we'll try and get it secured under there.
Once they're strapped down, then it's go time. I think that went real smooth. I mean, hold on, the boat's not out of the water yet. But I think so far so good.
I'm a little cold. Here, it's about to be very cold, so I'm just gonna change.
I think it's on this side.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at all these.
Oh.
This one's leaking.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that beauty.
This one's close to leaking.
Ooh, Nelly. Oh man, that thing's like getting gnarified.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do some serious grindage. I think we'll fix this jet portion as best we can here, and keep rocking. This is all split.
Oh dear.
We're doing band-aids now. I think it's gonna be fine for the rest of the season. It may even be fine for part of next season, but I think you'll have to address this here.
Okay.
Addressing it might look like cutting this pipe out, reconditioning this section, and then maybe welding in new stainless jets back into this, out of this carbon section. Or we take this as a template, rebuild this all in stainless, and then we just cut this here, add your schedule 80 or whatever, I think it's schedule 40, back at the shop, and we can section this back in.
All right, yeah, that sounds good. I'm glad we pulled this out, but it's definitely more holes than I thought.
All right, so Band-Aid for now.
Yeah.
Better fix later.
Yeah. All right, so I'm just kind of finishing up some grinding on this. The holes around the jets here kind of like opened up. This is gonna be pretty thin, like right in here towards that joint. It's gonna kind of try and open up on me as I start welding on it. So I'll have to be kind of careful. This one's real big. I'll probably kind of have to weld around the edge there and build it up as I try and bridge it. I've got some 3/32 rod, which is, you know, it's gonna be kind of our intermediate. It's a little big for doing the delicate stuff, but it's a little small for maybe doing some fill work, but it's kind of right in between. Ideally, it'd be nice to have a couple different sizes, but this is all we got out here in Nome. So I'm gonna clip these in half, and then I'm gonna start seeing kind of how this works out. Leave a comment below if you guys like to clip your TIG rod. It seems like it's more manageable for me. I don't know, try and burn it down to the nub if I can, so. So I've got that closed in. Just kind of got a good root pass in there. I'll probably get a root on this bottom too. We'll let that cool off a little bit and get one in here. And then Once I've kind of got some root passes in here, I'll come back and I'll start doing some kind of fill, and that'll just kind of help add a little bit more strength back to this weldment. So this one we're gonna have to go a little slower. It's real thin, so I'm just kind of working around the edge of the hole. I'll probably come back with the grinder and maybe just smooth that a little bit. And then we're gonna do some like cover weave over the top of all this to really kind of fatten it up a little bit. This is kind of where that main hole was. And so I kind of had to like kind of make these loops going around those edges and building it up. And then you can kind of do a stitch to kind of fill it in, but you got to be kind of really gentle. I just kind of want to go back over it and get it real hot to kind of like homologate everything that I've just kind of put in there, because I don't want it to just be like some clumpy looking weld on the inside. I want to get it hot and remelt that inside so that it's kind of a little bit smoother. That's okay. So I'll move on to this bottom one. I'll run one up down here, and then we'll come back and we'll keep doing maybe at least one more. This one, you know, this one might take a couple. It's kind of getting a little thin and getting a little hot in here, but I kind of just let it ride. You know, I'm not really so worried about kind of getting too hot. I really do want this to burn in really good. It really does need to make it through at least the rest of this season and potentially into next. I'm not really sure what our plans are gonna be, so. I'm gonna cut out a patch out of the other old nozzle that we have that we actually used to fix the nozzle this year. This is kind of a game of whose weld is it anyways, where the design doesn't matter and the measurements are made up. So it's kind of like a blowout prevention. If this wears through and it actually like creates a hole, we're not gonna lose pressure, and we're not gonna, you know, lose any suction or anything. It's gonna just kind of contain the problem. Best we can do right now is kind of just Band-Aid. This is the patch we got kind of put in here. You want to keep the piece from binding up, so you can just kind of keep closing it in. It's not perfectly tight to the pipe, but it is as close as I'm gonna really kind of get it. It's really just kind of a safety. So this is not gonna be a last forever permanent fix. This is really just kind of a Band-Aid on a Band-Aid. So it's not winning any beauty contest. That's really not what we're going for. It's honestly perfectly good and strong. It's gonna last the rest of the season. It's gonna do exactly what we need it to do. So as far as I'm concerned, it's perfect. All right guys, that's gonna be good enough I think for now. First
Look
impressions.
at that. I see no hole.
That's what you wanted, right? No hole?
Yeah, hole list. Look at that. Beautiful.
Right, no holes.
Nice new patch on the bottom. Cool. Well, awesome, man. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looks great.
It would have been funner if it wasn't muddy.
Yeah, right.
That's okay.
I've been selling gold from the Bering Sea online for 3 years now, and I've learned that there are thousands of people out there excited to hold the Bering Sea's treasure in their hands. But it's literally just me and my husband running this business, and we can't do what big companies do. For example, for security reasons, we can't let people pay with PayPal, Bitcoin, or check. It's credit and debit card only. And I can't let people buy more than a few grams at a time due to the risk of fraud. I can't do special expedited shipping, I can't insure every package, and a lot of the times I can't pick up the phone when people call because we're busy dredging for more gold. These are all important things to our customers, and since we can't do all of this ourselves, we decided to call a company that could, and that company is JM Bullion. JM Bullion is one of the largest, most trusted gold retailers in the country, and it's based in our very own Dallas, Texas. It's sold over $10 billion in precious metals. That's right, billion with a B. And it has a 4.8 out of 5 rating with over 350,000 positive customer reviews. For a limited time, we are selling our beautiful, clean Bering Sea Gold Flakes exclusively on jmbullion.com. It's available in 1, 5, and for the first time ever, 10-gram vials. The 10-gram vial is the best value you're going to get anywhere on the internet, including our website. And for the first time, I'm gonna throw in an autographed photo along with our usual certificate of authenticity and sticker. Go to jmbullion.com/Emily to check it out.
How empty is it?
Pretty empty.
We are splashing the boat today. Jet log is nicely welded. Suction is ready to be primo, and so is the dredging team.
Ready to be primo. Find a parking space.
You're gonna want to back the telehandler into the water until the boat floats and the telehandler floats. We'll push it until you can get a grip on the ramp with the wheels, and then just hit the freaking accelerator as hard as you can. Boat's in the water. Everything looks good. Dang, Ross is a good operator.
We're coming out.
Can't beat that buoyancy, you know? That was like the most calm boat deposit ever.
I know, it's amazing.
I mean, I had to have this like opinion. I was like, wow, we're all really relaxed right now. Maybe we should be a little bit more stressed out, but really like, we had the appropriate attitude. That was really chill.
Sorry, we're awesome.
You and Ross gonna go out and do a viz dive?
Yeah, we're gonna get somebody underwater and see if we can get back on the goal.
The wind has pretty much died off for probably the next few hours. So potentially we could maybe make a go at diving. It's deceivingly good. There's probably some bad visibility, but we don't know for sure. And we've been kind of suspicious that there might be like a really strong current.
Ross has come up with a little invention here. What are we gonna call this?
How about the go stick?
The go stick.
Right? It's the go no go stick.
The go no go stick. Okay.
The idea here is we're gonna light up this flashlight, and we're gonna kind of like drop this all the way down to the bottom. We'll set it on the bottom, see if we can see the end of it, how well we can see the end of it. If at all, you know, this might give us an idea of like what the current's doing. If this comes back up and it looks like marginal, then we'll go in for a taster.
Whoa, so that was a salmon.
Really?
Yeah, did you see that?
No.
There was a salmon.
That looks pretty good, man. I think we should go for it.
Let's go out to a spot.
I hope we can get a full shift out of this. That would be awesome. I gotta tell you, Alex, I didn't think we were gonna get down today. I'm down here, I'm on gold. The visibility is actually really good. It's as good as I can ask for. The current is really strong, but it's not at all unworkable, and it's probably helping the viz a lot. I think we've caught a lucky break, probably for the next few hours.
Greenhorn Ross has a perfect end to his season. When he came up, he had a lot of obstacles getting into the water, but he overcame them, and we can't wait to have him back next year. If we can get these guys paid and they leave with a smile on their face, I'm confident we did our job right.
Once again, I want to say thank you so much to JM Bullion, and please go check out jmbullion.com/Emily to buy our beautiful, clean Bering Sea Gold Flakes. Precious metals is an old-fashioned business based on trust and relationships. And after working with the professionals over there like Chris, Jonathan, and Ryan, I'm just so grateful we found some trusted partners to sell our gold. You can also click the link in the description below to find our products there.
Oh,
That's the hottest gold that I've ever seen.
this is crazy.
So click the top video to go to the next episode, and click the bottom video to go to the beginning of our series.